All right, part number 2. Let's take a look at some of the weaknesses here. In the email to me, Casey kind of broke down weak at quarterback, and I would definitely agree here, especially if Watson gets a lengthy suspension for 2022 or the Daniel Jones experiment ends after 2022. So this is a highly volatile quarterback depth chart, so that's where we're going to start. I do like the Sam Howell play here. It's a long shot at this point since he fell to the 5th round, but Carson Wentz is far from a sure thing, and especially after the way things ended in Indianapolis last year, uh, you know, it's far from a guarantee that Howell is, not going to be a factor in his entire rookie deal. So I do like that play. Sam Ellinger, Kyle Trask. I do like Kyle Trask, but if Tom Brady plays till he's freaking 50, it's going to be annoying. Taylor Heineke there as well. So that's nice. I like the idea of having the two backups to Wentz. If anything goes wrong there, or Wentz has gotten injured quite a few times, then we'll have a starting quarterback there, maybe a third guy. But yeah, I would highly suggest getting someone else in here, a live body. Doesn't have to be a high-end starter, but a guy like Marcus Mariota, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, like these types of guys that are cheap in Dynasty. You can make your 2022 team much better with not a lot of investment. So there are a few wide receivers on this roster. There are a few running backs. I don't know if you could trade any starters, but there might be a way to finagle a starting quarterback to sort of sub in for this year, at least to give yourself a shot early in the year. I would lean most likely this team's a year away. And depending on how things play out with Daniel Jones and the running backs here, we could be looking at needing a quarterback next year, needing that second quarterback if Jones doesn't come to fruition. So I do like Jones. I love his weapons. I think he has, excellent upside with this sort of Buffalo Bills-ish new roster here. But it hasn't looked great through a couple years. So I really want to see more there. And then obviously I mentioned the Watson thing. So depth, I almost always want to have a third quarterback. There are some dynasty leagues where I don't have 3, and I feel uncomfortable. And same way KC does right now. It just feels, you feel naked out there. So I totally relate to that. And it's not a fun place to be. Some of these other teams hoard quarterbacks, and sometimes we got to pay the piper here if we want to get that depth. This is a 10-team league though, so for each team to have 3 starters, that's 30. So as opposed to a 12 team, there should be more options out there. Some of these teams should have 4 starting quarterbacks. So test the waters, see what's out there. So I do like Etienne and Walker. I think that's a great combination. I do like Edwards-Helaire as sort of a upside RB3. So this should be fine for this year. Rachaad White, nice little upside there. Tyrion Davis-Price has nice upside in that 49ers offense if he can figure it out. Kenny Gainwell, definitely a lower floor, but can probably produce some RB3, RB2 weeks if anything happens to Sanders or Boston Scott. Love the profile from Gainwell out of Memphis. Fell in the draft, but clearly showed last year that he's capable of being an NFL running back. So I do like that. It would be nice to have, a clear starter in this Walker, Edwards-Helaire range. That's kind of where I'm looking. I'm not feeling quite comfortable going into the year with Walker as my starting RB2. I just don't know how the snaps are going to be split between him and Rashad Penny right now. So that's what we got to be worried about once training camp goes, and if we start to see Rashad Penny running with the first team solely, and they start to do with Walker what they did with Penny in Seattle in Penny's rookie year, then there's cause for concern about 2022. And again, this is Dynasty, but we want to win. We definitely want to win. So keep that in mind, and at least give yourself a shot for the upcoming year here. Moving down to wide receiver, so I really like the top 4, though it'd be nice to have a higher upside wide receiver 1. I do like Smith, McLaurin, Johnson, and Dotson. It is a young upside crew there, and I think there's definitely meat on the bone with Devontae Smith to flourish and become that high-end wide receiver 1. Many are not pricing that in right now, but I do think we have to factor that in. He was the best wide receiver on all those Alabama teams with all those first-round picks, so that bumps him up in my eyes, top 10 pick. And I don't love the Jalen Hurts pairing, but I don't think it's awful either for him, especially if he's very good, he'll be fine. So value that accordingly. However, beyond those 4, Wan'Dale Robinson, nice little stack there with Daniel Jones, but I don't know what I'm getting from him. I like the profile out of Kentucky, but with Kadarius Toney there, with Saquon Barkley still in town, it's just so hard for me to see Wan'Dale having a big role with what he does, because he's basically a worse version of Kadarius Toney from a profile perspective. I have no idea why the Giants drafted him. I guess to get Jones more yak guys. So I like him as a player. I kind of just wish he didn't go to a team where he was a redundant piece with the first round pick from last year. So it's kind of confusing. I got to see how that plays out. But yeah, not much help for 2022. And then what does Wan'Dale Robinson's rookie contract production look like? What does his first 4 years look like? I'm not so sure. Tim Patrick, nice wide receiver 4 upside here. Just don't love the dynasty value. Even if he does well this year, I think it's kind of capped. And then Anthony Schwartz. We missed a C there. Anthony Schwartz. There we go. Quez Watkins, Kyle Phillips. He's been doing well in Tennessee's minicamp. I might have to rank him next week. So shout out to KC for being ahead of the curve on that one. But Quez Watkins, I don't see much upside there other than being sort of a handcuffy type play for Devontae Smith. So yeah, it's just a little light for a 10-teamer on the back end. I'd love to see, some more quality pieces get thrown in at the end of here. And then we're good here. If anything, and especially if this team starts to fall apart, I might look to move George Kittle for a quarterback. I think since it's tight end premium, you should be able to get a nice haul, maybe even a premium young quarterback, maybe, not quite Trevor Lawrence or anything like that, but maybe you can get a Mac Jones or, one of those young high upside guys. People don't view Mac Jones as a high upside guy, but the high upsideness is in the Matt Ryan-ish career path where he's a starting quarterback for a decade plus. So if this team does get off to a slow start, that Kittle might be a piece because you have nice depth here. You have Irv Smith, Tremble, and Tonyan. I think those 3 could manage, on a rebuilding team. So if you can trade Kittle for, either a big-time wide receiver, a big-time running back, or a really solid QB2 to go with Watson for next year, that's if things go haywire. So yeah, so Irv Smith, nice tight end 2, and we'll see how he does, second year back from injury. I think that could be an interesting guy for this year, and he's certainly being liked in best ball format so far. All right, that's the weakness section. Next, we're going to take a look at the final grade and then wrap it up here.